The smell of rich Jollof rice hung heavy in the air, a Sunday afternoon ritual at my mother's home in Lekki Phase 1. Laughter chattered, the clinking of plates. It was usually my favorite part of the week. But today, the aroma felt like a suffocating blanket. I was Tunde, 30 years old, and my world, which just months ago felt perfectly aligned, had shattered into a million pieces. The culprit? Not just my ex-girlfriend Ifeoma, but my own mother, Funmi. Ifeoma had been beautiful, charming, and seemed perfect. We had been together for a few months when my mother offered her a role in her thriving Ankara textile business located in Yaba. It seemed like a dream. Ifeoma, working alongside my mother, becoming a part of the family in a deeper way. I thought it was a sign, a blessing. I had no idea it was the beginning of my nightmare. The first crack appeared subtly. A late-night text that buzzed on her phone, which she quickly hid. A hushed conversation when she thought I was not listening. My gut tightened. Something felt off. I tried to ignore it, to trust her, but the unease grew. One evening, she left her phone on the table while she went to fetch something from the kitchen. A notification flashed, a heart emoji, a name I did not recognize. Chidi. My heart sank. I picked it up. My hands trembled as I scrolled. Photos, messages, pet names. Not just flirtatious, but deeply intimate. It was undeniable. She was seeing someone else. Another man. The entire time we were together, my world imploded. The beautiful future I would imagine, the trust I would place in her, all evaporated in an instant. I felt a cold, crushing weight in my chest, a deep ache that went beyond mere jealousy. I confronted her. Her excuses were pathetic, a mix of denial and deflection. "Tunde, it is not what you think," she cried. Then, when cornered, she blamed me. "You have been so busy with work, I felt neglected." Neglected? While I was busy building a future I thought we shared? The audacity! I was furious, heartbroken, and utterly disgusted. My next move was impulsive, fueled by anger and a strange sense of justice. I found Chidi's contact information in her phone. I sent him a simple message: "Just so you know, Ifeoma is dating me too. You are not the only one." I wanted him to know the truth. I wanted to expose her lies. What happened next, though, I could not have predicted. Ifeoma understandably went ballistic. But instead of facing me, she ran straight to my mother at the Yaba office. She cried, played the victim, asking my mom, why would Tunde do this to me? Why would he send that message? She even insulted me to my mother, calling me names because I would not answer her frantic calls. My mother, Funmi, my rock, my confidant, my protector, she listened. And then she acted, but not in the way I expected. That evening, my mother called me. I braced myself for comfort, for understanding. Instead, her voice was laced with irritation. "Tunde, what is this nonsense you are doing? Why are you causing wahala in my office? This is bad for business. I beg you need to sort yourself out. Why would you want to tell that other boy anyway?" My blood ran cold. Business? Wahala? My pain, my betrayal, was merely an inconvenience to her business operations. I felt a sting far sharper than Ifeoma's infidelity. Later that night, I overheard my mother on a call. Her voice was soft, gentle, overflowing with concern. "Yes, my dear, I know you are hurting. Do not worry, it'll be fine." Then, the words that twisted the knife deeper into my heart. "I love you too, my dear." It was her. Calling Ifeoma, comforting my cheating ex, sending her heart emojis. To my own mother, I was the one causing trouble. To Ifeoma, she was a source of endless comfort. I felt a visceral shock, a profound sense of betrayal that eclipsed everything before it. The days that followed were a blur of numb existence. Ifeoma was still working at my mother's business. Every time I went to the office, the sight of her, the way my mother interacted with her warmly, kindly, as if she were the victim, made my stomach clench. I saw them sharing laughter, discussing market strategies, eating akara and moi moi together during break time. It felt like a cruel, twisted joke. My mother had not just chosen her, she had embraced her. My mother never fired Ifeoma. She is a good worker, Tunde. Very efficient. Why should I punish her for your personal issues? She would say dismissively. My personal issues? It was not just a breakup, it was a devastating deception. My own mother, the woman who raised me, who taught me right from wrong, was implicitly condoning this deceit, prioritizing a staff member over her own son's profound hurt. I began to feel like a ghost in my own family, unseen, unheard, unloved. The climax arrived at a big family gathering, a small naming ceremony for my cousin's new baby, held at my aunt's compound in Sur-L'air. The air was festive, filled with music and the smell of ayame stew. My mother had invited Ifeoma. She arrived, dressed beautifully in a vibrant ankara, acting as if she were still part of our family, graciously accepting compliments. I watched my mother embrace her, laugh with her, introduce her to distant relatives. It was a spectacle of my deepest pain, paraded openly. I could not breathe. I walked up to my mother, pulling her aside. My voice was low, trembling with suppressed rage. "Mummy, wouldn't be this? How can you bring her here, after everything?" She looked at me, her expression hardening. "Tunde, this is a family event, not your personal drama. She works for me. She is important. You need to grow up." Her words, delivered with such cold indifference, were a hammer blow. My own mother telling me to grow up for feeling betrayed, for wanting her support. The realization hit me then. She was not going to choose me, not over Ifeoma, not over her business. I walked away from the party, got into my private car, and drove aimlessly through the busy streets of Lagos, the sounds of Danfo buses and honking horns blurring into a chaotic symphony of my own despair. I ended up near the third mainland bridge, just watching the water. My mother had sent me a note a few days before Mother's Day, saying she thought about me every day and understood I was hurt. It took me a week to read it without crying. But the feeling was like a kicked dog, a little boy on a swing crying while his parents looked away. Weeks turned into months. She sent texts for holidays, wishes for nice long weekends. I ignored them. I still have not opened her last letter. Therapy helps, giving me tools to understand my feelings, but it cannot fix a broken relationship with your mother. I still go to sleep most nights with the bitter taste of betrayal in my mouth. I learned that day by the bridge that I could not change my mother. I could not make her see my pain or prioritize me. I could not make her choose her son over a good employee or her business. My path forward is lonely but clear. It is about setting boundaries. It is about understanding that her love or her expression of it is not what I need or deserve. I still love my mother, but that love is now tainted, fractured. I am building a life where my peace does not depend on her validation or her choices. The streets of Lagos continue to buzz, full of life, full of stories. Mine is just one. A story of heartbreak, betrayal, and the difficult, solitary journey of learning to heal your own wounds, even when they come from the people you thought would always protect you.